The Roman Catholic Church faces its biggest crisis in the United States since the Boston sex abuse scandal. 13 states and the District of Columbia are now investigating whether abuse was concealed by church leaders, including bishops, the highest-ranking clergy in a Catholic diocese. One place under scrutiny is Buffalo, New York. 60 Minutes has learned the FBI is interviewing church insiders there. Buffalo Bishop Richard Malone is accused of allowing priests accused of sexual abuse to stay on the job. Deacon Paul Snyder was the first member of the local clergy to call for the bishop to step down. He spoke with Bill Whitaker for this Sunday's 60 Minutes.
Bishop Malone has called this a crisis. You call it a scandal. What's the difference?
A crisis is we look at our home and it's burning to the ground. A scandal is while it's burning to the ground, you know how to put the fire out, but you don't tell me. You also know how the fire was caused, but you don't tell me. So you pretend to grieve with me about the fire, but the problem is you caused it.
Snyder showed us some of the 400 notes and emails he has received since calling for the bishop to resign.
Like they want to be part of a solution, but they think this bishop is preventing that from occurring.
Many are from victims. This month, Snyder sent letters and documents to prominent bishops demanding an investigation. Why do you have faith that the bishops are going to handle this?
Well, I don't have faith right now that any particular bishops have the courage to do the right thing. I mean, we all praise our martyrs on Sunday, and we praise and we sing. But boy, it sure as hell is hard being a saint when it's your ass on the line. And I want these cardinals and these bishops to start putting their ass on the line and start protecting their people.
Bishop Malone declined 60 Minutes' request for an interview. He did speak to Buffalo CBS affiliate WIVB in an interview that aired last night, saying, in part, I have apologized for mistakes I made in how we handled allegations of a cleric getting involved in misconduct with an adult. I have never, ever knowingly and intentionally left a priest in ministry who I knew had abused a child or moved him from one assignment to another or let him stay in ministry, ever. Bill Whitaker now joins us at the table. Bill, good morning.
Good morning.
So what do you make of that statement, Bill?
Well, we do know that this year, once the allegations started to percolate in Buffalo, the bishop has taken some actions. But we also know from the documents and from our reporting that for years, there were priests who had credible accusations of sexual harassment and, in one case, statutory rape. And little or nothing was done. And it was only once this started to come to light that the church in Buffalo started to take some action.
Well, one of the whistleblowers you talked to was the bishop's executive assistant. You don't get much closer to a person than their executive assistant,
no,
who normally knows everything about what's going on. What can you tell us about her, and why did she decide to speak up now?
She told us that she felt compelled to speak, compelled by her faith and by her religion to speak up. She went into the job. It was her dream job. She was working for the bishop, and she's a very, very faithful person. And she started to see things that just didn't seem right.
Did she say something to him about it?
She did. Mm-hmm. She was getting phone calls from victims. She was answering the phone, and she would hear repeatedly of these stories of people who had been abused by priests. And she tried to get the bishop to address this. And she always felt as though she were getting the brush off, you know, not now, not now. And this went on for a while, and she felt the only way she could handle this was to start to leak this information that she had.
You could sense the anger from the deacon. What finally motivated him to call for the resignation of Bishop Malone?
First of all, the information. He didn't know who the whistleblower was, but this information was being revealed on television in Buffalo. One of the priests in the documents was the priest in his parish. And the documents and that evidence about that priest it was the last straw for him. Mm-hmm. So he's taking within the Catholic Church, the extraordinary step of calling for the bishop to resign.
It's been 16 years since the church scandal in Boston that started all of this, the movie Spotlight, if everybody remembers that. What do you think makes this different in terms of what we've learned about Buffalo?
What makes this one different is that we've got this whistleblower inside who is revealing this information. And the information, it's hundreds and hundreds of pages of memos, emails, personnel files that show that the church knew that these activities were going on and took steps not to address it, but to, in her words, cover it up.
Wow. Bill, well, I'll be watching on Sunday, as always.
Okay.
Incredible reporting, I know, by you and the producers at 60 Minutes. Great job. You can see Bill's entire report on 60 Minutes this Sunday right here on CBS.